Hello and welcome to the Red Couch Podcast. I am your host, Hannah Theodore, and I'm once again joined by your usual host, Gracia Espinosa.
Woo!
Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Good. I was practicing last night. We had our staff dinner last night, and I had a few drinks, and I was practicing my Spanish. I had a couple words. I said sí.
See, always.
Siempre.
Oh.
I'm getting better.
Yeah, of course.
This is what we said last time. You're gonna help me improve my Spanish, and I'm gonna help you improve your English. It's a two-way street.
You are my Google Translate. So instead English, I am your Google Translate for Spanish.
It's perfect. It's perfect. So welcome back to the show. We're here again. This is our second of two end-of-year specials, as we're calling them. Just a little bit of a girl time catch-up before we head out on break, right?
Today, Hannah has her, well, not a tea, but a glass of water.
A glass of water in a very like basketball heavy cup. I'm not sure where this came from. It's not mine. It could be. I do love basketball, but I don't know. It was in the pantry. Now it's mine. Eat, sleep, dunk is what it says.
Well, it looks like a cup of tea, so
Yeah, let's pretend that.
can pretend.
Yeah. So we are really like winding down now because our last day will be. Is it already Yep. So our next day that will be done. Oh my gosh, you can tell I'm mentally like already.
We are tired.
Yeah. December 18th will be our final day. But this Friday is like really the last day, I think. We've got our last deadline for our upcoming paper.
Yep.
So we're working ahead. Not everyone knows this, but we do plan a lot for that New Year's issue.
Very interesting for the international students.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot we have to do ahead of time because we want to have a paper on the stands for you guys when you get here in January. So unfortunately, that means we have to get it on the shelves our first week back, which is a lot. It's quick. It's a quick turnaround. And people might think that because they see the paper on the Friday that's when it gets finished, but it's not true. We have to have everything in by Wednesdays at 5:00.
Yeah, and usually before Wednesdays. Depends the topic, the interviewees, because at the end, as a journalist and reporters, we are going to try to get the last news, but sometimes it's not possible because in this moment the problem is the holidays, the Christmas. So a lot of people, for example, students, in my case, in which I have to write an article related to marketing students, they are not available until this Friday because they are studying for the exams, Hannah.
Right, of course. Yeah, it's a busy time for everyone, and then everyone goes away, right? Everyone's on break. So yeah, it's definitely challenging, and there's not a lot of time to work on stuff when we get back, right? So that's the tough thing, because if you think about it, we're off on the Monday because that'll be New Year's, and then we come back on Tuesday, and then the paper will have to be done the next day. So it's quick. It's a real quick turnaround, but we can manage it. We're gonna do it.
Of course, we are journalists, reporters. So
We make it happen. No matter
multi-skilled.
Multi-skilled. There it is. And aren't your official title, Miss Multimedia
Yeah.
Reporter? I think that's what it says on your resume, or it should. So next year we were trying to think about what to talk about on this show because there's so much that you and
Well, we were talking, yeah, I remember that we were talking about vegan food because we have this event with all the FSU employees. Yeah, and we were talking about all the topics that we are going to do in the next, and the first newspaper of 2024.
This was last time, or are we carrying on? I remember we were talking about the vegan food because I asserted that I probably wasn't going to go to the potluck on account of usually there's not a lot of vegan options. And then I heard that someone was going to be bringing pupusas, vegan pupusas, probably with just beans, which
Patrick is the person who is going to
Is it Patrick or Katya downstairs?
Patrick.
Okay,
Because yesterday when we were in the dinner,
it's like side hustle, isn't it?
mom is from El Salvador, and a traditional dish is that one. So, and he said he's the best one.
I believe it. I mean, I'm inclined to believe Patrick. Anyone out there listening to the Red Couch podcast, you've probably met Patrick before because he's all over the place.
It will be very interesting. The problem is he usually is in the South Campus.
Yes.
So when we see him, it's like, hello and bye.
Yeah, we see him for 5 seconds and then he runs off again. So it was last night was like a reunion to like see Patrick and hang out with him for longer than 5 minutes.
You gave me an idea for a podcast.
Oh, really? Are you going to bring Patrick on the show?
I will lie. He's a very interesting person because he organized all the events in the South Campus, and there are a lot. When I was talking with Cami Arisa, the event organizer here in the main campus, she told me something very cute from Patrick. He said that, well, the students deserve the best, so that's why I'm going to try to do all the events that I can do.
I love that. It's true. There's like, especially at South, like you want to see a lot of stuff happens on the Oxford campus, but it's nice when things are happening on South too. Now, the other thing that we talked about, because the season immediately following the holiday season is my favorite season, and that is award season. I am such a slave for an award show. I watch them all. Like even the ones that like are lesser or like less exciting. I love the Emmys. I've been waiting forever for the Emmys because they got delayed. Yeah. I know you have the nominees list because I was like this past year has been like a TV year for me personally. There are still a lot of movies I need to get caught up on, but I did watch quite a lot of television this past year. So I'm very excited for this particular Emmys.
Yeah, well, in my case, I am a person who really likes to watch TV. I am still the person who watches TV, but I couldn't recognize all the hosts who are nominated or the TV show. So for me, it's interesting because at the end, all these awards and nominations are for me like a shock. Because
you like didn't see much of them?
Yeah, I have never seen them. For example, RuPaul.
You never seen RuPaul?
I mean, it's now very popular in my country.
Yeah, well, because they now have Drag Race España.
We have, and we did like 3 editions, but very recently. So I met RuPaul and all the drag queens perhaps 2-3 years ago. So yeah, and it's a very popular TV show, you know?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's interesting that it's been like, because I've been a fan for like a long time, and now I try to keep up with. There's so many variations, right? So like I'll watch like the American version, like the standard RuPaul's Drag Race, and then I'll watch Canada, and I'll watch Drag Race UK usually, and then I'll kind of just like follow along with the other seasons through social media. So I've seen that there's been Drag Race. They have Drag Race in Spain now. They're going to do Drag Race France, Drag Race Down Under. It's everywhere. Yeah. Drag is global. It's pretty amazing to see. But yeah, so I think RuPaul was probably nominated for like host again, right?
RuPaul is nominated as the best host.
Yeah.
And the other host that I saw very interesting, it was the host of the Fortune Wheel.
Oh.
I didn't expect that because...
No, is that...
He continues there, so I didn't expect. I mean, we had that show, but long time ago in my country. So when I saw it's still, on TV, I was in shock. I didn't expect that.
That's fine. I realized I just mixed up The Price is Right and Wheel of Fortune, and now I can't remember. Pat Sajak. That's the host of Wheel of Fortune.
So it's Wheel Fortune or Fortune Wheel?
Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel Fortune. Okay.
Wheel of Fortune. That's what they say.
No.
It was when I was growing up, my grandma, it was like tradition every night it's 7 and 7:30. It's like back to back Jeopardy and then Wheel of Fortune, or the other way around. But that was like every night in my grandma's house.
Another host that I know is nominated is the host of Family
Family Feud?
yeah.
Is it still Steve Harvey?
Yeah.
Iconic.
So
I love watching. Do you ever like get TikToks on your For You page just of like Steve Harvey hosting Family Feud? I love Family Feud. I love game shows. I love talent shows. That's why I used to love like American Idol growing up and like talent, like singing shows. So I think RuPaul's Drag Race is just like the perfect combination of everything.
American Idol, I mean the Spanish version, arrived to my country on 2000 to 2020. No, yeah, 2000. Sorry, 2000. So almost 20 years ago. 20, yeah. And the name is different. It was not American Idol. It's like Operación Triunfo. Is like main goal. I don't know how I can translate triunfo, but it's like main goal. Get the glory, like something like that. The translation.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, and I might be super wrong, but like I'm pretty sure it started as a UK thing.
I suppose it was
Yeah, I think it was just called The Idol. It was because it's Simon Cowell and the folks that he usually works with. So I feel like it started in the UK and then it came over to the US and just became like it was such a cultural phenomenon at the time. Like
in that moment,
Clarkson winning and like I don't know, live TV used to be such a moment when everyone used to tune in to live television like that. That was like so captivating. Waiting to see the votes on American Idol.
At the end, the first edition of all the reality shows are the most emblematic.
Yeah.
It's the same with American Idol, Idol in the UK version. And I was thinking of Big Brother. The first edition is always, because it's new, the participants don't know how it works. Yeah. The same is going to happen for the Squid Game, the challenge. I think this first edition is going to be always better than the second one, because in the second one, the third one, all the participants can know what is going on. Or
do you think they're going to do that again, though? Because wasn't the first season like a total bust?
They are going to do it again, because at the end of the last episode, the number 10, they showed the link for the casting, So, and I entered in the website because I was curious. Yeah, of course I was curious, because I wanted to know, because the show was recorded in UK. That's the all the complaints. I mean, that's the reason of the complaints from the participants, because the first game, the red and green light, it was recorded in UK on January at 5 a.m. And that game was 7 hours. We can see it in the first episode, 1 hour, but all the participants were in that game for 7 hours. Yeah. Because I wanted to understand why the participants were so upset with Netflix and the complaints. And it was from this first game. And I read that participants vanished during the game.
I feel like I just disagree with it on a fundamental level. Like, how could Netflix like so horribly misread their own like Squid Game? I feel like was not you weren't supposed to actually turn that into a game show. Like, I feel like the whole message was like not supporting these kinds of like the crazy things people will do for money, and then Netflix was like, yeah, let's make a reality show.
For me, the worst thing as a viewer, it was that they didn't receive any kind of money, the participants, because in Big Brother, for 8 days they were inside the house, they received like a salary, Right. But in this case, no one except the winner.
That's the tough thing about Drag Race too, where I think they do get like a weekly payout or something,
but they receive something, so
they do have to. The thing now with Drag Race, and this is why like it's really great to go back and watch like not so much the first season of Drag Race, because it was a lot of growing pains and it was not quite like at its peak yet. But like seasons 4, 5, 6, you know, it was still kind of like operating at this like mid-level budget, and there wasn't as much of an expectation for the queens to have these like really expensive, like immaculately designed outfits and costumes, and just generally bringing really lavish drag. But as time's gone on, like it really feels like you have to have a lot of disposable income to be on Drag Race because the standard is so high now. It's great because the drag is like really high level, but it's like you wish you could see some like diversity in terms of income.
So Hannah, these participants, all the participants of the RuPaul Drag Race, they receive a salary to invest on makeup.
Not before they get there, from what I understand. Like I feel like they have to basically invest in their drag by themselves, like before they get there. And a lot of the time, like people are making their outfits for them, right? Like designers are working with them to make these like custom outfits. So it's amazing work, but it's not cheap, right? And wigs, yeah, expensive wigs are. I didn't know, but like good wigs are crazy expensive. So yeah, some queens could spend up to like $40,000 to $100,000 just to be on the show.
And I think that all the drag queens, as the cosplayers, it's not only to buy the wig. They have to customize the wig. That's the problem, because it was not only money. It's you have to create a specific curly or to change the color. I watched a lot of videos from cosplayers, and in that videos they explain how they change the color of the wings, or how they create the curlies in characters like Sailor Moon, you know, that they have a long hair, but they have two bands in both sides of the head. So
it's a lot of work. And if you don't personally possess that skill set, then you have to like pay someone else to do it for you, right? So I think that's where it can add up sometimes for I just feel it's a lot of money to put down, and you don't know if you're gonna win, right? But I mean, it's great as a viewer. The drag is amazing always, and every season just gets better and better. But there's something so special about like when things were still kind of like pieced together. I don't know.
A part of the TV shows, of course, series, and one of them, I mean, a lot of series, I didn't watch them, not yet, because I am addicted. I mean, I have an addiction with series. So if I start, I have to finish the same day. That's my problem.
Oh, fair enough.
But one of them that I watched, and I think you too, The Last of Us.
Did you watch The Last of Us?
Yeah, of course. I love zombies series, zombies movies. So for me, it was mandatory, this one.
Gosh, so I've probably seen The Last of Us like.
And of course, Pedro Pascal was nominated.
He was nominated for Best Actor in a Drama Series.
But only in the Emmys or in the...
Got nominated for the Golden Globe as well. And then, you know what? So he might have a hard time in the Best Actor category at both award shows because of the Succession cast.
Oh.
Because you got Kieran Culkin, Jeremy Strong, and Brian Cox. And it was Succession's last season. So they don't have another chance to win that award now. I think Brian Cox has won it every other time he's been nominated. This year they think it might be Kieran Culkin. But where Pedro might win is he's nominated for, I want to say it's like Best Guest Actor in a Comedy Series.
Let me see if I can. Yeah, Pedro Pascal is nominated performer category.
Yeah.
I suppose in the male.
Yes.
For the male actors.
Yeah. And then the other one is like something about a guest actor in a comedy series for his. Yeah.
From the female, actress, Bella Ramsey.
Bella Ramsey. Yep.
Yeah. And another, multiple nominations in this series, The Last of Us, and included Murray Bartlett.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Offerman probably as well.
from Melanie
Melanie Linsky.
Linsky, yeah. Because the other series I don't recognize, like Beef, Tuca and Bertie, The Bear.
The Bear is one that I want to watch, and Beef as well. Like, I know these are all shows that I should have been keeping up with. My year was just totally consumed by The Last of Us and Succession. Like, I watched both of them, and I watched The Last of Us like a lot of times. Like, not just one time, like several times I've watched The Last of Us. So even though I know Pedro might not win it for that category, but he might win for his other nomination. He hosted SNL back in February. I don't know if you have seen any of the clips, but he did an amazing job. And so he got nominated for like best actor or guest actor in a comedy series or something. So if anything, he might take it for that, because the Succession actors might take the drama awards, but Pedro might get that one.
I don't know if you watched the movie The Killers of the Flower Moon.
Not yet, but I heard you weren't the biggest fan of this one.
Well, I really didn't like, so that's why I want to know your opinion about this movie, because I'm pretty sure that Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be nominated for the Oscars, and you has just told me before the podcast that he's nominated for the Golden Globe, because perhaps I didn't like very much the movie, but he did a very good job in that movie.
Well, we'll see what happens at the Globes. It's usually a good indicator of what's going to happen at the Oscars. He's got some tight competition as well in that category. We are going to have to talk more about this another time, unfortunately, because I think that we blazed right through, and I think that's it.
We talk. We
did it. I mean, this is what I'm saying. If I start talking about awards, I can go on forever. But this has been so nice just chatting with you these last couple of episodes. We should do this again sometime. I'll come back whenever you need a break from hosting. That is going to do it for us on the Red Couch podcast today. You can check out every episode on our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. While we're away on break, because we are done now for the next couple of weeks, you can keep up with our stories on our website. And we'll see you back the second week of January.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Bye for now, guys. For the Interrobang, I'm Hannah Theodore.